Radio.
Yeah. That was one of those.
Yeah.
That was one of those.
Yeah, he's been letting the clip loose lately. He got another record with Joey Badass that goes stupid.
I like Joey. Is he from the West Side?
Nah, he's from Brooklyn.
He's from New York.
Yeah, that's one of us. That's one of us. Relax. We're gonna relax with that one. Niggas trying to draft everybody to the West. Now we're not doing that.
Right.
It was only Pac. We stopped there. Okay.
We stopped there.
Pac really got that off.
Paved the way.
I love when you have friends from different places because then you get to have the egregious arguments about what place is better. And that always, I feel like that New York Cali conversation always gets to the point where somebody's dumb enough to bring up Pac on the West Coast side, and niggas be like,
"Bruh, he was
yeah,
born
you welcome. You welcome."
Oh, brother.
Of course, your littest nigga is gonna be a Brooklyn nigga.
Oh,
because that's what you needed. I love when the conversation gets to that point.
Yeah, you see people getting so mad.
Too. They get so hot because they always forget.
Yeah, like, I know he y'all's, but you know where he came from, though, right?
You right.
So different, but so good. Like Pac and Biggie, but Cube and Snoop, like.
That's the golden era.
Yeah,
that's golden era right there.
It's crazy.
Yeah, what a time. What a time. You know, speaking of golden era and like the differences between the coasts, finding out that Jay-Z wrote.
Oh, I already know. Give it to him.
Finding out that Jay-Z wrote some of the bars for Snoop and Dre's record, Still DRE.
Yeah, he wrote the hook.
The hook still representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still, and it's so interesting because at that point you're like, damn, Hov had to really be in tune with the West Coast
because he doesn't rap like that whatsoever
at all. Like most of the time when somebody writes for somebody else, you hear and you're like, I hear, because people have they have their cadence.
Yeah.
Hov ain't never once in his life rap like
hitting them corners and them lolos, girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture like Hov's voice even saying some shit like that. You can't. Your brain is like malfunction. Like
yeah,
that's always such an interesting story to me. Where it's like, damn, because at that point it makes you wonder if hip hop was a little bit more accepting, which this will be one day we'll have one of these reality bites. But if hip hop was a little bit more accepting with the rules as far as like, you know, writers kind of flip flopping and rappers working with other people or whatever, what could we have gotten that we haven't gotten? You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
If the rules were a little bit more loose with rappers playing that role of I'm just a rapper and somebody coming in and being a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, or being a baby face, or because you know R&B Teddy Riley, like R&B had those people who came in and they're like, hey Miss Doja Cat, I like how you sound, let me write and do this and do that, and I just want to direct you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like imagine somebody directing Hov or somebody directing Nas or directing some of our greats. Like what would we have gotten that they're not capable of by themselves?
Yeah. Now
it could have been something insane.
That's totally
that
true.
Is very true.
Although I do believe more than we'll ever know as like, because we be in rooms and we, you know, do music on the fun tip sometimes. Yeah. You know that sometimes there's way more of that than we probably would ever know.
No, of course. Saying? But I feel like there's a difference between, you know, throwing bars, throwing lines or whatever, and, you know, a lot of the stuff that Drake's getting in trouble for now.
Yes.
Where it's like you have somebody who you know they rap in a way that's not even close to like you.
Because that Vori Mob Ties threw me off. Like, I was like, wow, really?
But it makes sense when you hear Vori rap Mob Ties, you're like, oh, this is a Vori flow.
Yeah.
Like, and so imagine you being a rapper who you're like, okay, I know what I would do on this, but let me listen to what this guy would do. And then now you're like, okay, now that I figured out that flow, let me throw my words in it. Like, I feel like a lot of our greats doing that it probably would have opened the doors for some new GOAT level records that we'll probably never get now.
Yeah, totally agreed. Imagine if Pac and Biggie were like got to do a collab album.
Yeah.
You know
imagine like even if it wasn't that drastic of a opposition, imagine what we would have gotten if Big hadn't passed and we would have gotten the commission with Big and Hov. You know what I'm saying? Like
that one hurt. Is thinking about that because that was going to be a thing.
So those types of records I always think about, or even not on that level of Mount Rushmore, even on smaller levels, right? Somebody who people get mad at me for bringing this up sometimes, but I think Tyga is a very talented person.
He could really, really rap.
Not even just on the rap tip, but I feel like he's because not everyone knows how to make a hit. Tyga having the hit maker brain that he has, imagine how much more he could do if you put Tyga in the room with those rapidy rap niggas who can't make a hit for their life. So what would happen if niggas like, insert name here, who's like a super dope rapper, but you like, okay, throw Tyga in the room, let Tyga hear the beat. Don't let him hear what you did. Let him hear the beat, let him formulate the record, and now when he bounces, you take these parts out and you rap around it. Yep. That's how you get rappers like The Game. That's how you get, because, you heard how 50 described, he said Game could always rap, but he couldn't make a song for his life. Yep. So Fifth being the dude who he wrote for Jennifer Lopez, he wrote for, LL Cool J and all these different people in the past, he knew how to craft a hit record. So he's like, I'm going to give you the beats, I'm going to give you the hooks, and then I'm going to leave blank spaces.
Yeah, and finding that out, I could hear it. Like, speaking of what you was talking about earlier in Kame's career, you could definitely hear on some of those where, no, that's 50 influence. 50, 50 helps you put that together. You might have pinned it down, but you could tell.
You can tell.
That 50 helped put that together.
You could hear, like, even when, they talk about the LL Cool J record, Paradise.
I love that record.
We've been through this before, acting like the L's can't bag them no more. Like that hotels, heated marble on the floor, all of that, like the way that he curved, I was like, that is a 50 verse.
Yeah, that tripped me out, but it's like, yo,
it makes sense.
You could hear it because that was kind of that. Y'all know this song, this 50 song throwback, Disco Inferno.
Disco Inferno,
like
yeah.
That type of, he kind of rapped like that. The rhyme, he kind of did that. He kind of did that.
So it's like when you hear those records and you're like, damn, imagine how hip hop as a genre, imagine what we could have gotten if we were a little bit more open-minded with that type of stuff. Now, my question to y'all, what would it take for that to be a thing? Like, what would it take for the audience to not be like, no, fuck that, that's trash, you can't do that, da da da. What would it take to make something like that okay?
I think the youngins would have to make it cool first. Like, they have to be like loud with it. Like, okay, like let's say somebody that's young that I listen to, A Boogie says, hey, I be working with people, they help me come up with, like, somebody that makes it acceptable. Like, I think it may be starting there, and maybe some of the OGs who are well established coming out more and saying, hey, that's okay, we need to actually do this and whatnot. Maybe even getting a collab tape with a elder hip hop statesman and somebody of the newer generation, and they're openly telling you, hey, we're not only working together, we're like, this is going to be ghost written, where he, like, maybe the youngin ghost write for the OG
or vice versa,
and they do a collab.
Ooh, that'd be a crazy.
Wouldn't that be fire?
But your description sounds like the only thing that's holding it back is the ghost part.
For sure.
People feel. I think that's what pisses people off, because like people feel betrayed.
Yes, it's nobody wants to think. They think the author of this story wrote it 100%, and then you find out that the author only wrote 60%.
Because if you look at Cardi, nobody's mad at Cardi for not writing. Nobody's mad at, you know what I'm saying? Or even, let's go back, nobody was mad at Puff for not writing. People weren't mad at Kanye for not writing. People weren't mad at Dre for not writing. Like, when you look at those moments, but that was because it wasn't a secret, so you didn't feel played.
But they also don't let them talk. There's only a certain level of talk that they get when it comes to, like, they are the greatest of what they do, or some of the greatest of what they do.
But they don't get the MC talk.
There's an asterisk due to that ghost.
The MC, yeah, you're right.
It seems like for some reason our culture, we only accept it with singers. Like, singers could get away with it.
No, it's rappers too. As long as you don't talk MC talk, it's rappers too. Because Dre's a rapper, Kanye's a rapper. They're not singers, and the singer.
Well, rappers that don't. Then rappers that absolutely don't produce. Because when they produce, you kind of understand. Okay, well, you're not a real rapper. He's a beat maker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus somebody who just only purely raps and they have like ghost writing on their jacket. Like I'm saying, like, imagine if people found out maybe Meek didn't like
Meek
got help with that.
Oh my God.
Even though
that would there was you might have helped me figure it out. So Meek is one of those people that I know why I like him and I know what I like from him. But crazy. It's because he is so great at describing things and like giving you a worldview of, hey, this was my life in Philly. And that's, that's all he's going to give you. That's what he gives you. This was my life. This is where it is now. This is what caused me to be the person that I am. There is a heavy betrayal that comes from the idea of, what do you mean this isn't you? Because you've been advertising to me this whole time that we're connected. Yes. Because you're telling me your life story, and this is us finding out this isn't you would hurt. And it wouldn't hurt if it was like, let's say Lil Uzi Vert, we found out Uzi didn't do that. But Uzi's not a personal person. Correct. Like his records are not him rapping about how he grew up and this and that. I think it's that emotional part of it where it's like, when I want you to win, it's because I want that guy who was the kid with the dusty braids in Philly who wanted his way out, this and that. I want him to win. Correct. And when I'm listening to your records, I'm feeling things for this person.
Yeah.
Correct.
So finding out that this is not you,
that would be upsetting.
Yeah. Because now it feels disrespectful. Now I feel like it's the same as when you give this is a crazy parallel. It's the same as y'all ever gave money to a person who was in need and then they get in a car?
I told you about that story I found out about what panhandling meant in South Florida, where the dude had a pirate eye patch. He's in a wheelchair and he's old and dirty as can be. And I saw that man when I was walking through the neighborhood I lived in at the time jump off a porch and get on a bike. Me and my cousin thought about whooping that dude.
Like a motorcycle?
No, not a motorcycle, but he got on a bike. But I'm saying the way he...
a wheelchair? Wait. The wheelchair dude rode a bike?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. He was doing the panhandling thing where he on the side, he collecting.
So he was faking that he was injured.
He looked and he played it so well, like where you would feel... Anybody with a good conscience is going to feel bad, dog. And then one day, just through the neighborhood, we walking through there, this dude jump off a porch and get on a bike. Me and my cousin was about to run down on him. We thought about it like, yo, he wildin'.
Hey, nah, homie, I need my $1 back.
Yeah, they got it bad down there in Florida. Like once, it was always the same guy that was posted outside of a Target down south. And
oh Lord, I remember this.
And my mom finally gave him some money or whatever, but. And then she went shopping and stuff, and then she was just sitting in the car doing whatever. She said she saw him hop in a car that was way nicer than hers, a woman who has a career, and another nigga hop out the car, and he passed him the sign, and they just switched.
So they use it as a hustle.
Yeah.
That's nasty work.
And it's sad because, a lot of them are actually homeless and they could actually use the help. But a lot of them in Florida they be playing.
Yeah, I make it bad for the people who actually really need the help, because you don't have somebody who's genuine who would give it. But it's like, now I be reluctant or sketchy to do it sometimes because we see that people could do that. Go ahead and get into a car, but you're acting like you disabled and stuff like that. I
knew an older cat. He was a super. He was a super for the building I stayed in Brooklyn, and he explained to me before where he was like, a lot of those guys that do that hustle, they do it because a lot of the homeless people don't have the wherewithal to actually, like, imagine there are a lot of homeless people that need the money, but some of these people don't know how to write. Some of these people don't know how to read. Some of these people, they have such heavy mental health issues that they don't have the discipline to, like, okay, I'm gonna sit at this corner. I'm gonna talk to everybody that passes by, get the bread or whatever, this and that. Yeah. And he was like, it's interesting when you recognize that they take advantage of the fact that those others can't even do that for themselves. So some of them, what they'll do, they'll even make a deal with the others or whatever, where they're like, okay, I'll be the spokesperson. I'll do X, Y, and Z. And for every $20 he's getting, $30, whatever, he'll break them off a little $5, break them off a little $6 or whatever. So he's the one out there putting in the work, collecting most of it. And he's just kind of giving them the runoff. And it's really, I didn't even know that type of racket existed at the time. But it was because the super stopped me from, I had my lunch money going down on my way to school or whatever, and the super used to walk with us because a lot of the kids in the neighborhood, my school wasn't far at all, so everybody would kind of like mosey on over to the school together. And he saw, and he used to call me the wanderer because I would always break off. I would always break off from the group and start talking to people. And right?
You talk trash about me. Interesting.
Well, yes, you today act like how I acted when I was 7. Yes, yes, Sheen.
You set yourself up for that one.
I should have just shut the fuck up.
You should have just shut the fuck up.
Anywho.
But yeah, man. So he would, he'd be like, hey, stop doing that. But every once in a while, I'll see somebody look interesting or say something or whatever. I'll be like, oh, what's that? So I'll go talk to him. And it was a dude, and he had a sign or whatever, and I was about to give him $1, and the super ran up and like took the $1 from me and was like, no. And I was like, well, why? And I was explaining to him I was trying to, do a good deed, and he was like, that guy's not homeless. And I was like, what? But his sign and everything, he was like, he's lying. And then he like broke it down, and he was like, he knows that guy. That's why he stopped me from giving him money or whatever. And I was like, that's crazy. And literally going forward, I would see this guy on my route or whatever, and that dude was not homeless, bro.
Had his own crib and just
had his own crib, had his own car. He just was out there. And the crazy thing is he was on rent control. So like he got his apartment for the low. So he was just out there panhandling, just getting extra bread just cuz. And it's just like when you look at stuff like that, it bothers you because you're like, damn, dog, like I'm sitting here thinking I'm doing something in the world or whatever. And it's like scammers are everywhere.
So I do believe that that's probably why it's going to be wishful thinking with that ghostwriter thing where we actively accept rappers who only rap to do ghostwriting.
Yeah, well,
because just based on even perspective on what you're saying.
It's all about how you advertise everything. Like, I think hypothetically, if, let's say, we were as big of a platform as the JBP, and I was like, okay, I want to put out a Reggie Days mixtape, but here's how it's going to work. I'm going to pick my favorite rappers because I like your voice. I like your cadence. I like how you say things. But I would like creative control. And part of creative control might be that I want to hear your voice doing things that you don't normally do. But that's not you trying to sneak and play people and this and that. I think people would accept that under a different guise because it's open. You see what I'm saying?
I can see that. That makes sense.
I think it's when you lie, that's when niggas get mad. Like with Drake. We've seen so many reference tracks come and go, and a lot of them people weren't really mad at. But there are specific ones. Everybody has a list of records that in the back of their mind, they're like, I swear to God, Aubrey.
If you
did not write, insert song here.
9 a.m. in Dallas.
Yeah, like there's certain records that if you did not write them, it's up.
Yeah. Let me find out you didn't write Dreams Money Can Buy.
It's certain records where it's like, how dare you? Why? Because I am emotionally invested in the idea that this was your thoughts, that I am connecting with you. You and I see the world the same right now.
I thought you were 100% the author.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's that connection, man. I think that's really what it is. It always boils down to that.
Yeah, we'll do some more into it on the Reality Bites, though, so stay tuned for that, y'all.
Nah, most definitely.